Tesla is a stock that went absolutely massive and made millionaires out of nothing. Throughout that run, there's been people doubting the company and short sellers and bulls who believe in it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the bulls ended up winning. But Tesla reached the $1 trillion market cap. It became a massive company. And at that point, you would think that the growth and the insane projections might slow down just a little bit. That is not the case for the Tesla bulls. They are in full force, saying some insane, ridiculous, unfathomable price targets for Tesla stock. We're going to start with one of the most egregious ones out here, which is this right here. Someone who's a Tesla bull, I think, solving the money problem in his YouTube channel. This is from Strongman Personal Finances channel. You can see there's his camera down there. But this guy has some of the most insane, unfathomable price predictions for Tesla. You can see in this blue category here, he's got 2032. This is per share after the split. So right now, Tesla shares being worth over $10,000, which would, again, if we look at the left side here, put Tesla at over $33 trillion market cap. I don't know how anybody could make this thought and say Tesla will be a $33 trillion company in 10 years. That is absolute insanity. The most valuable company in the world right now is Apple, and they print money, and they still aren't trying to get up to this $30 trillion market cap. Apple is at $2 trillion in this bear market, holding up the entire market, and it still is not seeing some massive, insane moves up. During the 2020 and 2021 insane bull market, Apple went up a lot, but it didn't go up by tens of trillions of dollars. I just don't know where this growth is looking. If you look at this market cap stuff, it goes from 1.5 trillion in 2022, which is we're coming to a close on 2022, in a couple days here. So got a couple days, but Tesla, it's not worth 1.5 trillion. So model broken there already. But going from 1.5 trillion and even in 2025 to a $6 trillion company, that would be the most valuable company in the world. That would put it ahead of like the top 3 companies combined in the world. So I don't know what people are thinking, how you come up with these price targets. This is absolutely outlandish. And if this case is like bear based bull and hyper bull, if you think Tesla stock is going to $50,000, that I don't know what to tell you. That is just not going to happen. Not in 10 years, unless the dollar absolutely collapses and becomes absolutely worthless. It's just not going to happen. And just to point out even more, this $33 trillion market cap would be more value in Tesla than the entire GDP of the United States. So maybe that puts in perspective a little bit more. So that's the most egregious one out of the Tesla bulls. I don't know how anyone can look at that and think this guy knows what he's talking about. But here we have Meet Kevin and his thing going on here, where he like breaks this down on a little spreadsheet, looking at total revenue from sales stuff, $197 billion in total revenue. Just breaking this down. If we look at revenue from other big companies too, I mean, Tesla's revenue, it's not massive. It's good revenue. Obviously it's a lot of money. It's a bigger company, but it's not a tech giant. I mean, we can look at Tesla's revenue, $75 billion. That's good. That's great for their company. They're a good company right now, making profit, doing all their things. It's not a bad thing to make $75 billion. But you can't take Tesla and compare it to Apple that makes $400 billion. That's just not comparable, right? The two are very different. Tesla is a luxury car maker. Apple is still luxury, but they have a price point where people are willing to buy that. Obviously, people live with their iPhones. The 50% of the US market is now all iPhones, and it's increasing. And Apple still has an ability to expand their market in India, so they still have a really big way to expand their market here, and keeping pretty healthy margins on their iPhones, as well as running their software business. And they have software that they make money from, and a monopoly on like the App Store and stuff. So people, Apple has this monopoly figure in their App Store, in their ecosystem, where they make 30% off everything that happens there. And Apple is still not this $30 trillion company with a monopoly that people complain about. in place. But meet Kevin here. This is his end of 2025 reasonable price for Tesla, almost $700 a share. And he puts in some sort of, I think, the robo taxi thing and full self driving and services and oh my God, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, Tesla is a luxury car maker, right? So right now, they've had a lot of growth. When times are good, people were flowing with money, interest rates were zero. They could go buy a Tesla and their payment could be affordable. Now, not so much the case. Interest rates are skyrocketing. That makes car payments go up even more and they become unaffordable. So people aren't going to go buy a $40, $50, $60,000 Tesla. They're going to go buy a $20,000, $30,000 Toyota or Ford, right? People aren't going to be able to buy luxury goods. And at some point, Tesla might be coming up on this. The wealthy people already bought Teslas, right? The ones who want them already bought them. So at some point, you hit a wall and there's no more people to sell to. So you have to bring prices down. Bringing prices down brings revenue down, brings income down, ruins profit margins. So there's a lot of problems that could be coming up here that are kind of being ignored. For some reason, when it comes to Tesla, you have the mega bulls and mega bears. People saying it's extremely overvalued. And I mean, it was proven that it is based on its chart for this year to date. This is not such a great chart to be looking at. And maybe the Bears were right, at least in the short term, that it was overvalued. It's down 69%. And the Bulls kind of ignoring all this stuff, saying Tesla is super undervalued right now, and it's going to $30 trillion. So you get no real in between with Tesla stock, but I just don't see it going up to these insane numbers. Even $600 a share, 6xing in 2 years is a huge thing to think about. If it's 6x's in 2 years, I mean, we're going into 2023, a massive recession already happening. We are still in this recession. Times are tough. The economy is not good. So where's the growth going to really come from? A lot of companies are struggling. I just don't see a time where Tesla 6x's in such a short amount of time. And we also got Jeremy Lefebvre, another Tesla bull out here, and he puts his predictions out here again, putting out a whole little spreadsheet. And he has this is his base case, I guess, which is assumed constant 32% growth, which doesn't really make sense because even though here it says base case assumes energy business remains small revenue opportunity and assumes economy is weak in some years and strong in some years. So it's kind of saying they're going to base out to 32%, which you can say that, right? But if 2023 it hits 32%, great, you're spot on. If 2024 it goes negative 10%, that messes up everything after that. It breaks the entire model, right? So if you're modeling this out consistently and something comes in way under par or way over par, it breaks the entire thing. But he also has market caps here of 2025 base case being 1.5 trillion almost, and then 2027 being 2.5 trillion. I just when you get into this $1 trillion club, you start to grow a lot slower, right? There was insane speculation on Tesla. It has lost tons of money or tons of market cap. And the stock, no one could have been able to predict that, right? No one would have thought Tesla would be down almost $1 trillion in market cap. But here we are. Honestly, the only company that I think you can really say that is safe and it's not going to fall trillions of dollars is Apple. Maybe that's a bit of an Apple fanboy. I like Apple products. I like the company. I have stock in the company, but I just don't see Apple's not super volatile. It's not something that gets massively speculated on. Tesla is. I mean, 69% down for, we'll do year to date, 70% down for year to date compared to Apple's 29%. That's a big difference. Obviously, the entire market's down, but Apple was one of the companies really holding up the entire market for a long, long time. And now it's starting to slip a little bit more now, but Apple is just something that's not super volatile. So I think you could be more confident in holding that and not expecting it to drop, $800 billion in a year or $1 trillion in a year. But Tesla might be one of those companies. But no individual stock is safe. You can't confidently say, something won't happen. If a lot of people are saying something isn't going to happen, it probably is going to happen. But right now we saw Amazon lost $1 trillion. I think it was the first stock in history to lose $1 trillion in market cap, and no one would have expected that to happen to Amazon. So anything can happen, But long term, you're looking at Tesla maybe running out of customers, wealthy people not being able to buy the cars because they already bought them. They don't need to keep buying more. And the average person not being able to afford a luxury car anytime soon. That's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.